a minute of silence for truth. We live in a twilight world. Let's make another quick recording. Bonjour Good day. I'll tell you where that comes from later, if you don't already know. Bonjour Good day. Thank you for joining me. It's been a while, I know, since I've made a recording. Huh. How appropriate. The twin flowers. Very appropriate for today's conversation. It's been a while since I've been here with y'all. Sorry for the absence. Excuse the absence. Established 1983. Back again. So, I thought this would be a good day to make a little recording. A quick recording. Let's make another quick recording. As to the subject of the 7-Eleven job application in 2001. If you don't know where that comes from, look up our good friend Matt at Quantum of Conscience. 7-Eleven job application with the twin flowers. So what inspired this video? Well, for starters, it's been a hot minute, and thought it'd be nice to come back and catch up with my old friends, all my homies, all the supporters, all the Patreons. Look at that. The twin birds. Also very symbolic of today's conversation. So, I woke up this morning. I actually went to bed last night. I was listening to my good friend Tim over at Fakeologist. What's up, Tim? Greetings from Montreal. If you hear this, you're responsible for this. I was listening to his regular live streams yesterday, and my 9-year-old was listening, right, and talk about a plethora of different subjects, and the subject of 7-Eleven came up. So he asked me, "Daddy, what's 7-Eleven?" I'm not talking about the convenience store chain all over the place in Thailand, okay? 7-Eleven job application 2001. You know what I'm talking about. He says, "Daddy, what's 7-Eleven?" I said, oh boy, Fitzy. I'll tell you what, ask your teacher. No, I'm asking you. No, ask your teacher. She's not gonna know. Just drop it. It's time for bed. Let's go to bed. Okay, no problem. Dropped it. Went to bed. Had a nice little convo before going to bed. Everything was great. We went to bed a little bit later than expected, considering it is a school day. A school night. And so he woke up this morning on time. Everything was good. "Daddy, please tell me, what is 7-Eleven?" Makes me think of the big question about the purple flower. Somebody, please tell me, what on earth is the purple flower? Anyways, I says to him, ask your teacher. She's not gonna know. I said, of course she's gonna know. Everybody knows. But ask your teacher. Well, she's not. If she doesn't know, ask your mother. Okay, I've learned that that's always the best way to go. And he wouldn't drop it. He starts getting upset. Now he starts throwing a hissy fit. He doesn't want to put on his shoes to go to school. I'm like, listen, we're gonna be late for school. Just put on your helmet. Let's go. He kept going. Daddy, please tell me. Please tell me. I said, just drop it. Okay, we get to the metro. Please tell me. Nobody's gonna tell me the truth. You're gonna tell me the truth. You're my dad. Which is also very fitting. The truth? You can't handle the truth. What is the truth anyways? So, he keeps going. He keeps going. Now he's getting really upset. Okay? And he's, my son gets very emotional, and when he doesn't get what he wants right away, he starts, getting upset. The tears start falling. And I was like, what are you getting upset for? You see? Everybody knows except me. Yeah, you don't know because you're 9 years old. You're 9 years old, okay? So if you want to know, ask your teacher. And if she doesn't know or she doesn't want to tell you, ask your mother. And then, when you come back in 2 weeks, we'll talk about it. And we'll tell you the truth. I can tell you what really happened on September 11th, 2001. 7-Eleven job application. Okay. Anyways, he doesn't let it go. So we get to the subway to pick up a sandwich for him to take to school. And now he's upset, he's in tears. The girl at the subway says, What's wrong? I said, he's just upset because he wants to know what happened on 7-Eleven with the job application. So then she leans over and she's like, you want to know? And he gets even more upset. He's like, I want my dad to tell me. I shouldn't laugh because it's actually quite it's not a joke. First of all, there's nothing funny about what happened on 7-Eleven job application, unless of course, what is it, 24 years later you can look back and you say, wow, it was like a movie. Well, it's actually technically exactly what we saw on TV, a movie. What truly happened, well, after years and years of listening to the likes of Simon Shack and Brian Stavely, you want to stay away from the Jim Fetzers and the Judy Woods, or if you've gone down that route, or Zeitgeist, our good friend Alex Jones, all that stuff. I think the term is gatekeepers / shills, whatever. Who knows? I wasn't there, but the story makes no sense. And the more you look into it, you realize we live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk. Great channel, by the way. Been listening to his work. Les Luthor, Illusion Warfare. Check it out. Good stuff. As Matt would say, we've graduated. We're the level 7 Trutherville. When I get to the level 7, as IPS says. So what happened on the 7-Eleven job application? Well, we'll give you a quick rundown, okay? Years later, the conclusion, in summation, okay? Everything, and I mean everything, including the hundreds of videos that came out 10, 15 years later, was completely fugazi. 100% CGI, made for your eyes only, to manipulate your mind. Okay? So once you understand that there is actually zero genuine real footage, as Les Luthor would say, if it's digital, it's manipulatable, it's fake. Has to be. Okay? And so of course there were no avions, not like the ducks that just flew by in the sky. No avions, obviously, and everything around there, everything around that whole subject, all the people that lost their lives, and you just look up the VicSim report, look it up, VicSims, it's a thing. So all fabricated, years and years and years of planning, of course, naturally, because when you have a psyop of this magnitude, it takes years and years of planning. Some people would even say 33 years to the day from when the first construction was started on the twin flowers. So yeah, no avions, of course. Controlled demolition, naturally. The whole thing about silverfish, and we're gonna pull it. That's just what you call pissed on breadcrumbs put there for the likes of us, people like you, people like me, to spend their time going at it. Like I said, Simon Shack basically concludes it. If you haven't seen September Clues, check it out. I mean, the original version is still good, and there's been additions to it afterwards that just make more sense. There is zero footage of anything that happened that day because, and it's a good theory, it makes sense, right? Everything was fogged out. The whole of Lower Manhattan was fogged out. What about the people? What about the people? Before I even came to the conclusion, because of other people's research and other material that was out there, I thought to myself, it's true. We never saw a single bit of footage of 47,000 people vacating those buildings. Weren't there 50,000 people in those buildings? So where's the footage? I mean, there's your proof in the pudding. There's never any footage. You just see the same thing on loop over and over again. Shock value, production, Hollywood production value with obvious mistakes left in for people like you, people like me to go, aha, we got you. You got what? You got nothing. Doesn't matter. A lie believed by everybody becomes reality. Thank you, Les Luthor. Absolutely true. So, no footage of 47,000 supposed people vacating those buildings, and 3,000 people lost their lives that day. Oh yeah? Okay. And yet, the death count in NYC was exactly the same as any other day. Just normal, people dying of natural causes, as we'll call it, right? So when you do a controlled demolition, you have to obviously shut down all the water and electricity around. There's been numerous people that have done great work showing that that's exactly what happened. And when the first hit occurred, naturally everybody was glued to their TV screens, and was total gridlock downtown. Of course, you couldn't get anywhere within the vicinity. Why would you anyways, right? And of course, since then, it happened at a time before anybody had cameras or camera phones or anything like that. So it had to happen then. It happened then for exactly that reason. And I want to walk a little bit, but got a lot of things to carry. One of my neighbors years ago where I lived said, "No, I had a friend that worked there, and I never saw him again. You know, he's gone. He's gone. Okay, well, where'd he go? Where'd he go? He just never came back. And what, you think he's gonna call you and say, "Hey George, I'm still alive"? Makes me think of the other day I went to see my good friend J7. Shout out J7, who works at a mobile company, and right downtown St. Catherine, and they lock the streets. They lock the front entrance now. You can't just walk in. Somebody has to let you in, right? I said, "Oh, what? You're locking the doors now?" He's like, "You didn't hear what happened?" I'm like, "Well, you don't watch the news?" "No, I don't watch the news. The news is there to send your mind in all four directions: north, east, west, and south. You know." Okay, so what? Well, just the other day, a couple weeks ago, there's some people that went into the Videotron, and they tied up the workers, and they robbed the place, or so you didn't see what happened? I said, what? I said, "You believe that?" He said, "Of course I believe that. Of course, I have people that work there." I said, "Really? Were they there?" "No, let me guess. They were on their day off when that happened." And he started laughing. Why did he start laughing? Because that is, in point of fact, exactly what happened. Anyone he knew that worked there wasn't working that day. Of course not. Naturally, right? So anytime you look into all of these things, you do your own research for yourself. You say, "Wow, okay, that's obvious." Like, there's no footage, right? And if there's footage, of course, it's an operation, right? It's a drill. It's a test to prepare ourselves for whatever. But you don't actually know anybody yourself, even though you have friends that work there. They weren't there. They were off that day. Of course they were, right? And time again, every single time you look into it, you go, "Yeah, okay. Oh, Rick, did you hear what happened? The pharmacy across the street was robbed at gunpoint this morning." "Really? I never heard about it. Nobody told me. I called home just earlier, and that would have been the first thing that I would have been told." It's like, "Oh, no, of course not." "Oh, but wait. We have security cameras. Let me check the cameras." "Well, what? One cop car that drives by throughout the whole day? Where's the SWAT team? Where's the road closure?" You know what I'm saying? So the point I wanted to get to, and actually what my question is to you, my fellow subscribers, perhaps someone could leave a comment down below, is how do I explain to my child what happened on such a monumental, historic event such as the 7-Eleven job application? I think my response was very appropriate. Ask your teacher. "But Daddy, she's not going to tell me the truth." Well, what does she know? She's just going to parrot whatever she saw, or believes she saw, or never took the time to look into it. Your mother's going to say the exact same thing, and then I'm going to get the call, and she's going to say, Rick, you can't be filling our child's mind with all this stuff." Well, that's the question. Do we have a responsibility to our children to tell them the truth? Or, as some would say, version of the truth as we see it, right? Because it's going to create a lot of problems in the future, absolutely. When he's in high school and he's got to do a report on this event, and he gives them the non-official version of what happened. What happened? What happened? Oh, big reno job happening right here. Taking a little 15-minute break. Right? No one died, no one got hurt. Those buildings were empty. Oh, I forgot the twin flowers. You know what? I'm gonna go back and get them as a symbolic gesture, as a memorial of this moment. My twin flowers. Do we tell them things as we see them, even though we realize, we understand that it's going to cause problems, and people are going to say things like, your father's a conspiracy theorist. Ooh, it's so funny actually, because the girl at the subway, you know, she basically explained what happened, and then she says, well, you know, if you get into this conversation with conspiracy theorists, that's like an hour-long conversation. Yeah, well, it's actually hundreds of hours if you really go through everything and discern the bishop from the truth, and then you just make, where'd he go? Oh, wrong bench. Gotta get those twin flowers. And then you come to your own conclusions based on what makes sense. And of course, you know, people will say, and this is where years down this path you realize it's pretty dark in Trutherville, you know? Oh, the government wants to kill people and they want to eliminate people. No. Like I've said before, years ago I made a video. You can look through the archives. Oh, what a cutie. Bonjour. Bonjour. Oh, bonjour. Dis bonjour.
Doucement, Théo. Pas japper. Il est pas méchant, mais des fois, il jappe fort.
Ah oui?
Quand tu connais pas. Non, c'est correct.
Bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur. Yeah, you see, even, what is that, golden retriever? I don't even know the name of that dog. He said, woof, which means, don't believe what you watch on TV. It's so dark and so grim. And you think, oh, the government wants to kill people, and no. What's better than killing off 3,000 people for real? Well, you kill off 3,000 fake people. And the effect is just the same. Twin flowers. Ah, so perfect. I'm gonna keep it and remember this moment forever. The effect is the same. And when you realize that we live in the twilight world, there are no friends at dusk. Les Luther, Illusion Warfare. Oh, there's Mama calling. There's Mama calling. I'm gonna just decline that. She calls me 20 minutes later. Why? Because it was a huge thing. He didn't want to go to school. He didn't want. I'm not going to school until you tell me. I said, Vincy, you get into school right away. I'm gonna get very mad very quickly. No. Right. But then you ask yourself, okay, after years and years and years in this whole thing, you know, you come to your conclusions and then you move on with your life. You continue your renovations, you continue, you know, buying vanities on Marketplace and asking people what their address is when you want to buy a 30-inch baseboard heater and they don't give you the address. Like, why don't you give me the address? I asked you 3 times. What's your address? You give me a postal code. I need to know the address. Why don't you just... What, you think I'm going to come rob you? I'm going to come to your house? You got to give the address anyways if the person is... Anyways. Woosah. Established 1983. Woosah. Don't need to get upset. Or, is this still available? Right? So once you get it all past all that, in the real world, you just carry on your life. You just keep doing things that you gotta do in your daily life. Like taking your kid to school, taking your child to school, and him getting upset because you're not gonna tell him what happened on the 7-Eleven job application. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have a sense of humor. You gotta woosah. It ain't so dark, it ain't so grim. You know, life is beautiful if you want it to be. And that one, along with an infinite array of pissed on breadcrumbs, as they say, are put there to consume your time and your energy and your spirit. You're gonna get upset watching all the TikTok videos of what's happening or not happening, staying on the ball. Did you hear what's happening? You know, Donald Trump is putting in tariffs on Canada. Oh my goodness, Donald Trump, here we go. You know, just a couple weeks ago somebody asked me, what do you think about Donald Trump? I said, oh boy, here we go. We're here having a nice dinner and you're gonna ask me such a question, okay? So I'm gonna answer it very quickly. Donald Trump is an act whore. He's a very good act whore, okay? And he was put there. Presidents are selected, not elected. Okay, the CEO of the corporation, all that stuff. To play the role desired for them to achieve the goal that was intended to achieve. Who's them? Who's them? You say them. Who's them? Them. You heard about the guy who changed his name to them so he could take all the credit? They. Don't get me started on that whole they crap. And so, yes, do we have a responsibility to tell our children the truth, or the version of reality as we see it? I say yes. And if your child has the capacity to take it a little bit further and comprehend a little bit more, the conclusion should ultimately be turn off your television and don't believe what you see on the news. Because if you read the newspapers, if you don't read the newspapers, you're uninformed. If you read the newspapers, you're misinformed. Yes, of course. Naturally, because why would they, here we go, the famous they, tell you anything? Who are you? Who are you? Huh? What's your name? What's your name? It's been a while. I miss these walk and talks. You notice I'm smoking a cigarette and not anything else. It's been a few months now, feeling good, feeling great. Just decided, you know what? 40 years old. 40? 41 years old. Why not? Why not mix it up a little bit? Try something different. Look at these flowers. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that. How pretty is that? And a little ground covering. Look at that ground covering. Isn't that nice? So pretty. A lot of pretty houses in this neighborhood. Hey, buku bucks, eh? They're not giving them away. Look at this. Look at that thing over there. Look at that cute little. I'm not so sure about the green at the bottom. That wouldn't have been my choice, my color of choice. But yeah. So if we accompany the explanation with a overall analysis of how to navigate through this twilight world, as Les Luthor puts it, then we then give them the tools to live a better life ultimately, because it's a fear-based mind control system with programming at the core of it, and that's why it all starts at the beginning, you know. That's why there's a globe in every classroom. And why did I say ask your teacher? Because your teacher knows. Your teacher knows. Ask your teacher. She's gonna tell you. She knows. There's a little fair going on here. We're gonna have to check that out in a couple of weeks. When I see Fitzy again. Ask your teacher. She's gonna tell you. What's she gonna tell you? Well, she's gonna tell you exactly what she believes, you know. Oh, you believe? You believe? You don't believe the official story? First of all, you can't spell believe without a lie. Try it. Try it. It's not possible. Okay? And no, I don't know. I wasn't there. And neither were you. And nobody was, in fact. Right? Where's the footage? Where's the footage? 47,000 people running out of that building? Where's the footage? Aren't there cameras on every single building around? There's not a single footage? There alone should tell you. H-O-A-X. Hoax. Hoax, Psy-Op. Psy-Op-Eras. You know. Psychological operation conducted on the masses for the purposes of control and manipulation, to create, to have a worldview in their view. They. Here we go again with the they, them. And who's the them? It don't matter. Okay, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, as they say. And everything's gonna be okay. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Big shout outs. Let's do some shout outs. It's been a while. Shout out to my main man, Treach. What's happening, brother? Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob, what's happening? Long time no see. How's Uncle Retardica doing? First one off YouTube. No more computers. Shout out to my main man, JLB. What's happening? Tim F. Ecologist, what's happening? Who else? Anaconda Malt Liquor, long time no see. You still around? You still around? Truth Virus, what's happening? Truth Virus. Now I just, whenever I'm listening to, you know, there's this idea that, okay, we can't all agree on everything, okay? We have different points of views on different things, and that's right. But when I hear people that have completely missed the ball on certain subjects, I just turn them off and say, oh no, okay, no. Ooh, lots of wind. Lots of wind. This could be the time to say goodbye. Bonjour Good day. So, on that note, in that tone, hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time. Right here on Established 1983. Don't get run over. And